Hey guys, today I want to give you a resume tip. And if you've been following me on Instagram for the past 3 or 4 weeks, you've seen that I've been giving out a tip a day for the most part. So make sure that if you're not following me on Instagram over at Hired How to Get the Job, that you check that out because you're missing easy layup tips that most people make mistakes with. But today let's talk a little bit about on your resume, lead with what makes you different. Okay, let's do this in 3 different areas. First of all, on the resume structure. Secondly, on the bullet structure. And third, on the way the verbs you use to open your bullets. And then lastly, even on your cover letter. But let's just talk about your resume structure, okay? If the job requires an MBA, you're probably going to have your first name, last name, comma, MBA at your name. So there's no reason to necessarily highlight in the top section of your resume where you got your MBA, how long ago you got it, what you got it in, because guess what? Everyone that's qualified for that job has an MBA. Put it at the bottom. I'll find it if I'm looking for it as a recruiter. So don't lead with what makes you the same. Everyone's going to have an MBA. What everyone doesn't have is your specific experience. So lead with that. So then you need to figure out how to structure your bullets, okay? Because I actually worked with an attorney recently on her resume, and she was able to save one of her clients about $300,000. This is how she structured the bullet. I'm going to read it. Work closely with business units to save $500,000 on legal and admin fees. So it was $500,000. So again, lead what makes you different. She led with working with other people to accomplish something. Now that's great and it's super humble, but we've already talked about this in other videos. Don't be humble on your resume. So we restructured the bullet to say, saved $500,000 on legal and admin fees by partnering with other business units within the company. Now we talked about her accomplishment first. It said the same exact thing. She partnered with other people. She accomplished this with the help of others. But because of the way we structured it, me as a recruiter, when I only spend about 10 to 15 seconds scanning a resume, you want me to scan the most important stuff. Does anyone ever scan the back of a bullet? No. The way she wrote the bullet, her important accomplishment was in the back. Put the important accomplishment on the front. And lead with your accomplishments on your resume because that's what makes you different. Next, make sure you're using different verbs as action items in your bullet. So don't say, even if you did the same thing in 2 or 3 different companies, forget it. Only talk about it once, okay? Don't repeat the accomplishment and don't repeat the verbs. Don't say, I don't know, I can't think of something right now, but generated. If you're talking about revenue generation, led sales team, generated revenue. Come up with different action verbs to start off your bullets. And also, don't just have bullets talking about the same thing. If it's a sales role, well, I'm sure there's going to be an element of leadership in that sales role. I'm sure there's an element of customer relations in that sales role. So maybe you need to highlight different skills in your resume, and you need to lead with different skills in each section. So each section isn't just talking about when you were at this job you did revenue generation, at this job you did revenue generation. Maybe at this job it's revenue generation is your first bullet. At the next job it's going to be maybe leadership. Maybe at your next job it's going to be some cost saving stuff. But that way, me as a recruiter, I am not reading your resume line by line by line. I'm probably scanning your resume and I'm probably scanning the front ends of certain bullets. And if I think it's intriguing enough, I'm going to read the rest of the bullet. But if I just see save money, save money, save money as the opening bullet for every single job you've had in the past 10 years, I'm going to think you're a one-trick pony. So lead in those sections with what makes you different and don't constantly say the same thing. And then the last thing with cover letters, okay? Highlight the things that aren't on your resume in your cover letter. So the cover letter shouldn't be the same carbon copy in a different format of your resume. It should be different. It should lead with some different things about you. It should talk about maybe some of the top 3 things that you're really proud of. Or maybe even, I think, a resume should kind of fill in the questions and the gaps that your resume might show. If you had a couple of jobs or a couple of job gaps in the past 3 or 4 years, I kind of think you should probably address some of the red flags in your cover letter. And that's very different, okay? But by you addressing the questions that may never get asked, you might ensure the interview questions get asked. Because often we as recruiters, if we have too many questions, we're just not gonna call because there's enough candidates out there where we don't have that many questions with them. So I hope that helps everybody today. Remember, Follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Hired How to Get the Job, and also every Wednesday, 10 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time, watch LinkedIn as we do a LinkedIn live show, and then also Facebook on 2 p.m.s on Thursday, Central Standard Time. We do a similar show, but we always finish those shows with about 15 minutes of Q&A from the audience. So if you do have questions that you're trying to get answers for when it comes to resume writing, interviewing tips, if you're looking for someone to help you with your resume, please reach out to me so I can help show you how to get the job. I'll see you next time. Bye.